the battle ends tonight. Archangel Michael says, the spiritual warfare over your life is reaching its final moment. My beloved child, something has been raging around you that your eyes could not see. For months, maybe years. You've been feeling drained without knowing why. But tonight, Archangel Michael steps forward with a truth that cannot wait because the battle ends now. There has been a spiritual war over your destiny. Heaven has fought silently on your behalf while darkness tried to place delay after delay on your blessings. What you thought were coincidences, canceled plans, lost money, people walking away were actually calculated attacks in the invisible realm. The enemy was never after your body. The real war was after your purpose, your light, your divine calling. Every breakdown you survived was not weakness. It was evidence of your unmatched spiritual value. Archangel Michael says, the enemy saw your future and panicked. You were not being punished. You were being protected. Every rejection was divine redirection. Every silence was heaven speaking louder than noise. The confusion, the loneliness, the silent tears at night. None of it was wasted. The divine countdown has started. What your spirit felt all along was real. Something has been trying to stop your elevation. But our angel Michael has just declared the final strike. Tonight, the court of heaven ruled in your favor. The angels have been repositioned. The attacks are losing their aim. Chains you couldn't break on your own are now crumbling because the final blow is coming from above. The battle over your sleep, your peace, your finances, and your love life is closing. My beloved child, this is why you've been restless. This is why the same cycles kept repeating. The devil wasn't creative. He was consistent. But tonight, the cycle ends. Archangel Michael didn't come to warn you. It came to break what was unbreakable. There is a sound in heaven tonight. A spiritual trumpet announcing that your case has been concluded. What you thought was delay was actually a divine setup for breakthrough. The warfare was heavy because the miracle was massive. You will no longer be confused. You will no longer be silenced. Your name has been spoken in the chambers of light. Angels have been dispatched with scrolls and your name is sealed inside because the next move is not yours. It's heaven's. Archangel Michael says this isn't just about protection anymore. It's about restoration. The years you lost, the people you mourned, the time that vanished in pain will now be multiplied back to you in ways you didn't see coming. And tonight, a sacred shift begins. Your soul has already agreed to this moment. That's why you're watching this right now, because heaven waited for your heart to be ready, and now it is. Something is being lifted off you as these words flow through your spirit. You may feel chills. You may feel still. You may feel tears. But all of it is confirmation. Archangel Michael has released the final order. Let the victory begin. There is a vibration in the spirit realm moving toward you like a wave. Every lie spoken about you is about to turn into a testimony. Every closed door is about to open with thunder. And every person who betrayed you is about to witness your rise. Stay alert. The spiritual realm is echoing with movement. The wind of justice is blowing. The pages are turning in your book of destiny. And tonight, heaven is done allowing interference. You are not late. You are right on, divine time. The enemy tried to convince you that your miracle expired. But Archangel Michael says it was preserved for a moment like this. The angelic army is surrounding you as you listen. Every altar that was secretly raised against you is being shattered right now. Every spell, every curse, every manipulation, none of it can survive the decree that has been shouted over your life. The war is ending because you won. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. You've been sensing it for days now. The spiritual pressure tightening, the signs becoming louder, the atmosphere around you shifting in ways you couldn't explain. That's not your imagination. That's the vibration of the battle nearing its climax. Archangel Michael says, every second that passes is bringing you closer to the moment where heaven's sword strikes the final blow. The spirits that were once whispering lies in the dark corners of your mind are now trembling. They can feel the angelic army marching toward them. They've held your peace hostage for long enough. But now, heaven has declared your territory a battlefield, and the angels have been given full permission to fight until every last chain is broken. You may not have seen it, but your resilience was a weapon. Your refusal to give up, even when everything seemed lost, became the key that unlocked a holy strategy against your enemies. Archangel Michael says, the darkness underestimated you. They didn't realize who stood behind you. Your cries in secret didn't vanish. They were collected, stored, measured in heaven's bowls, waiting for the moment they'd overflow. And tonight they are tipping. The sacred bowls of breakthrough are being poured out over your name. Every delayed answer is being accelerated. My beloved child, the heavens are moving. The earth will follow. People will begin to act differently around you. Not because you've changed, but because the energy protecting you is intensified. The angels now walk before you. Not just behind you. They are clearing paths you don't even know exist yet. You will begin to notice closed spaces opening with ease. Conversations that once caused anxiety will turn in your favor. Blockages you fought with prayers are now being destroyed with divine thunder or change. Michael says, this is not a test. This is the takeover. For too long, you've been quiet about your pain. You didn't want to appear weak. You didn't want to burden others. But heaven saw it. Heaven counted every tear. Recorded every sleepless night. Heard every time you whispered, God, I can't take this anymore. You weren't weak. You were chosen. Only warriors are sent into battles like yours. And only warriors with a crown are targeted this way. Archangel Michael reveals that your name is attached to territories in the spiritual realm. That's why the enemy came so hard. But what the enemy didn't calculate is that tonight the divine court reached a final ruling. The ruling says, your enemies can no longer access your energy. They can no longer drain your joy, confuse your mind, or delay your breakthrough. The access is revoked. Archangel Michael is standing in front of you with his sword drawn, his wings expanded, his voice shaking the atmosphere. He says, your house is no longer a target. It's a temple. He says, your name is no longer under observation. It's under protection. You are being moved from warfare to reward, from attacks to abundance, from delay to divine alignment. And you're not doing it alone. The angels that have fought beside you will now celebrate beside you. What was once a battlefield is now becoming a banquet table. You will eat in peace where you once cried in secret. You will rise in the same place you were pushed down. Archangel Michael says your enemies will witness your elevation but will be unable to interfere. Their power has expired. There's a shift happening in your soul right now. A sense of clarity, of calm, of inner knowing. It's the residue of divine presence brushing against your spirit. Don't ignore it. Breathe it in. Let it mark you. You stepped into sacred timing. Everything that made you feel forgotten is now being reversed. You are not invisible. You are being watched by heaven. And tonight, a spotlight has been turned on in the spirit realm. And your name is glowing. My beloved child, if only you could see what the angels see. You know how much light radiates from your being when you pray. You know how every time you said amen through your pain, another demon backed away. You are far more powerful than you've been told. This isn't about religion. This is about revelation. It's about your soul agreeing to a calling that your mind is only now beginning to understand. Archangel Michael says, the reason your life has been heavy is because your destiny is holy. You carry keys in the spirit realm that others cannot hold. You open gates through your presence, through your love, through your intention. The darkness hates it, but the light within you cannot be extinguished. Even in your worst moments, you still reached for hope. Even when no one else clapped for you, you kept going. Even when your own thoughts tried to betray you, you fought back with faith. But heaven took notice. The final strike is coming. But it's not coming from your hands. It's coming from above. Archangel Michael says, don't try to fix it all by yourself anymore. A burden is being lifted. The sword is no longer yours to carry. It's His. The thunder in the heavens is not chaos. It's confirmation. The lightning flashing through your dreams is not fear. It's the spark of spiritual realignment. You've entered the final scene of the spiritual war. And the outcome is already written. Heaven is not hoping for your victory. Is declaring it. The angels are not trying to guess the outcome. They are celebrating it. Archangel Michael stands over the battlefield and shouts one word. Finished. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. All around you, something unseen is retreating. The forces that once hovered in shadows, near your joy are being pulled away like smoke clearing after fire. Archangel Michael says, the spiritual eviction has begun. Everything that did not belong in your atmosphere is being removed by divine force. You've been walking with weight that wasn't yours. Emotional burdens, unspoken grief, unexplainable fatigue. It wasn't just your own. You were carrying spiritual baggage left behind by people who connected to you. Drained you, then vanished. But now the Holy Spirit is pressing reset on your energy field. Your spirit is being cleansed with fire, not water. My beloved child, heaven wants you to know this truth. You were never losing. You were learning. Every failure was a disguised training. Every delay was disguised protection. And now that your lessons are complete, the test is being taken away. And more exams. Ali elevation. The angels guarding your timeline have shifted. For a long time, you were surrounded by watchers assigned to observe and report your progress, your strength, your resistance. But the watchers have stepped back and the warriors have stepped forward. Now it's time to collect what was yours all along. You are not who you were 6 months ago. You're not even who you were yesterday. There's a spiritual shedding happening and layers of pain, shame, guilt, and confusion are falling off of you. That heaviness in your chest is starting to break. That lump in your throat is beginning to clear. Freedom is taking form. Archangel Michael says your silence had power. The enemy thought your quietness meant weakness, but it was strategy. It was the sacred pause before a holy roar. The heavens are about to echo with the sound of your breakthrough. And those who thought you were done will be stunned. The doors are not just opening, they are breaking off the hinges. What was shut in your face before will now swing open before you even knock. Because you have passed through a fire that purified you, a battlefield that qualified you, a wilderness that matured you. This moment is rare. Not everyone survives this kind of warfare, but you did. You crossed nights where it felt like your heart was being ripped open. You smiled when you wanted to scream. You stood when your soul was collapsing. Archangel Michael says heaven never look away. You were always watch, always guarded. Even when you questioned everything, even when you begged for signs that never came, there was an army assigned to keep you breathing. And now that you've endured the worst, heaven is sending the best. There is someone watching you right now. Not physically, but spiritually. This being has always been near you, an angel whose task was not to speak, but to record. Every moment you chose love when hate was easier. Every time you chose kindness when revenge was deserved, that angel has presented your case to heaven's council. And the ruling is clear. This soul shall not carry any more burdens. His soul shall receive the reward. You are entering a season of rest without regret, you will walk forward without deal. Your past will not whisper anymore and your future will no longer be blocked. Archangel Michael says this is what spiritual justice feels like. Calm in your chest, clarity in your mind, confidence in your step. Your story is shifting from survival to success. From pain to purpose, from hurt to healing. And no one can reverse it. The final battle was not physical. It happened in the secret chambers of your mind. It happened when you woke up and chose hope despite heartbreak. It happened when you stood back up after collapsing emotionally. It happened every time you whispered, "I still believe." And because of that whisper, everything is changing. That whisper reached realms that shouts could never touch. That whisper was pure. Heaven responds not to noise but to truth. And your truth was always love. Even when life didn't give it to you in return, you are now being positioned for promises that were paused, for blessings that were buffered by spiritual resistance. Archangel Michael says, "Heaven is tired of watching your blessings be delayed." So now it's not just permission. It's acceleration. Expect things to happen fast. Expect dreams to return that you thought were gone. Expect people to come forward with apologies you never thought would come. Because when spiritual warfare ends, spiritual rewards rain down like fire from heaven. Your home is going to feel different. Peace will dwell in your rooms like a presence you can't see but feel. Your sleep will deepen. Your waking thoughts will soften. That harsh voice in your head that made you doubt yourself, silenced. You may find yourself crying in random moments, at ceiling residue leaving your body. Your cells are celebrating. Your soul is decompressing. The battle ends tonight, but the peace begins forever. Stay still. Stay present. The night is sacred. Don't dismiss the signs, the chill in your spine, the flicker in the air, the ringing in your ears. These are the whispers of the divine saying, "We are here and we are not leaving." Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. It's not just your surroundings that are changing. It's your entire spiritual atmosphere. Something heavy is being lifted and something holy descending. Archangel Michael says, the air around you has become a field of divine strategy. What used to feel like chaos is now sacred alignment. Your spirit, your emotions, your body, they are all entering restoration. You may feel tired right now, but that tiredness is the final stretch of a soul that has carried too much for too long. You are not weak. You are worn from war. But Archangel Michael says your spirit is about to be recharged with a supernatural power that no darkness can copy or counterfeit. A fresh wind is coming. Everything the enemy stole will be returned with interest. Your time, your energy, your dreams, your relationships, nothing will be wasted. The hands of heaven are already writing a new schedule over your life. One that replaces exhaustion with purpose and waiting with results. What was stuck is now shifting. My beloved child, you don't need to beg for this. It's already been granted. Your miracle is not in negotiation anymore. It's in transit. The angelic cares have been released with instructions marked urgent. What's coming is not just a blessing. It's a complete reversal. Your name has already been spoken in the places that matter. Where once you were overlooked, now you are being highlighted. Where once your name was left out, now it's being engraved in spiritual scrolls. Heaven is not debating about you. Heaven has decided for you. There are people who left you thinking it was their choice. But heaven allowed their exit because your anointing outgrew their intentions. You were never abandoned. You were upgraded. A new chapter required separation, not punishment. You are not the same anymore. You don't think the same. You don't walk the same. You don't love the same. That's what spiritual war does. It doesn't just test you, it transforms you. Archangel Michael says, what you're feeling is your spirit finally catching up to your elevation. Do not be surprised if people start contacting you out of nowhere. Some will come with apologies, some with confusion, some with new admiration. But understand this, none of them hold power over you anymore. The final battle removed their axes permanently. Let the silence continue where it must. Let the past stay buried where it should. You don't owe explanations to anyone who didn't kneel beside you when you were in spiritual war. The version of you that's rising now only speaks to those assigned by divine agreement. You are about to encounter confirmation after confirmation. Numbers, dreams, divine timing, unexpected messages, they are all aligning to whisper what your soul already knows. The war is over and the crown is yours. The atmosphere around you is carrying new codes of success, favor, and clarity. You will begin to walk into rooms and shift the energy without even speaking. You'll notice how even silence begins to carry weight around you. That's spiritual authority, that's the oil of survival turning into the oil of success. Archangel Michael says, this is your royal robe moment. You've been running in survival mode for too long. And heaven says it's time to rest in victory. No more watching over your shoulder. No more expecting disappointment. No more waiting for the next attack. This is your exhale season. Don't ignore the small wins. They are spiritual signatures that the final breakthrough is close. Don't dismiss the slight changes in your energy. They are signs, your inner self is receiving new instructions. And don't underestimate the calmness in your chest. It's not numbness. It's divine peace. Even your body is reacting to the shift. Old fatigue is leaving. Sleep will become deeper. Hunger will feel more balanced. Emotional triggers will weaken. Because when the war ends, even your nervous system is allowed to heal. You may feel something like a weight pressing on your shoulders and then lifting suddenly. That's not coincidence. That's an angelic presence removing old residue from battles past. What you fought through left spiritual bruises, and now the healing balm is being applied. Archangel Michael says, even the angels are weeping not from sorrow but from celebration. Your strength inspired heaven. Your perseverance made the divine realm shout with honor. You didn't fold. You didn't curse God. You didn't run from your calling. You stayed. And because you stayed, everything is about to change. This is the moment you will remember. Not because of a specific date, but because of how different life began to feel. You won't need a calendar to mark your breakthrough. Your soul will know. Your heart will breathe lighter. And your life will speak for itself. Now is the time to activate the energy around this word. Don't keep this to yourself. Someone else you love might be going through their own hidden battle. Share this message. Let it be a torch in someone else's darkness. And if you feel this message hit something deep inside of you, don't scroll away in silence. Comment below what part pierced your heart. Subscribe if your soul knows this is your moment. Cheer if you feel this shift. Type Amen if you claim the crown. Archangel Michael says this is a once-in-a-lifetime moment. Not every soul gets to hear this word while the portal is still open. What you did? You were chosen to hear it at the exact second when the final decree was made. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. Somewhere deep inside you, you can feel it. A shift that words cannot explain. It's not a feeling of excitement, not fear either. It's the sensation of divine finality, the kind of silence that arrives right after a war has ended. Archangel Michael says, what's coming next will not require your sword, only your surrender. You don't need to fight anymore. You've already proven your strength. The heaviness that once sat on your chest like an invisible chain has been broken. You may still feel echoes of the old energy, but those are only memories. The spirit realm has already moved on. And now so must you, my beloved child. Look at your journey. You have survived moments that could have destroyed others. You've held on to faith with a trembling grip. You smiled when your spirit was collapsing. And still you rose. Archangel Michael wants you to hear this clearly. You are not ordinary. You are divine evidence that endurance leads to elevation. The enemy made one final attempt recently. One last trap, one last confusion, one last lie. What? It failed. It failed because your spiritual maturity reached a point where tricks no longer work. You've outgrown manipulation. You've outgrown cycles. You've outgrown everything sent to make you doubt who you are. You will no longer be pulled into emotional whirlpools. You will no longer chase after people who treat your light like an option. You will no longer pray for things that aren't aligned with your divine blueprint. Because now you know who you are. You're not searching for identity. You're stepping into destiny. The divine scroll over your life has been unsealed. It had your name on it since the day you were born. But spiritual warfare kept it at luck. Archangel Michael says the seal has now been broken and the instructions are being read aloud by angels. Every word spoken in that scroll is preparing to manifest physically. You are going to feel moments of déjà vu. But it's not coincidence. It's confirmation. Your soul is catching up to what heaven already knew. You've been here before in visions, in prayers, and dreams. But now it's real. The spiritual blueprint is becoming the physical blueprint. And the most beautiful part. You won't need to force any of it. The divine flow will begin to lead you. Conversations will fall into your path. People will return not to confuse you, but to complete what was left undone. Closed doors will open not by knocking but by presence alone. Archangel Michael says, don't look back anymore. The season that required suffering is complete. The chapter that demanded silence is finished. You're no longer in a waiting room. You're walking through heaven's gates into fulfillment. You're not just being healed. You're being made whole. There are things you prayed for years ago that are about to arrive all at once. Not gradually, not piece by piece, suddenly. Because now your spirit can handle the weight of it. You've been purified by pain, strengthened by stillness, refined by rejection. Heaven never said no. Heaven said, wait, until they're ready. And now you are. There will be moments where you'll look around and realize you're no longer where you used to be mentally, emotionally, spiritually. It may feel like you don't recognize yourself anymore. That's not an identity crisis. It's a spiritual rebirth. All dreams will start to feel relevant again. Not because they recycled, but because they were paused for protection. You will notice that things once out of reach are now within arm's length. The delays didn't mean denial. They meant destiny was being built behind the veil. Your spirit is about to attract people who speak your new language. People who honor your growth, not question it. People who carry light, not shadows. Archangel Michael says, these people have been hidden until now, waiting for the war to end so they could enter safely. Don't write this moment. Let it unfold like a sunrise. You cried for too long in the dark to enjoy the dawn. The warmth you're beginning to feel in your chest is the first light of spiritual sunrise. Let it touch every part of you. You will begin to feel weightless, not because life is perfect, but because your soul is no longer carrying battles that aren't yours. You will begin to smile without force. You'll breathe deeper. You'll think clearer. That's the energy of spiritual freedom washing over you. There will be unexpected miracles, things that don't make sense in the natural, but align perfectly in the supernatural, opportunities without applications, doors without keys, blessings without explanations. That's what happens when divine order takes over. Archangel Michael says your presence will become a portal for others. When people speak to you, they'll feel peace without knowing why. When you walk into rooms, tension will drop. You'll carry healing just by existing. You are no longer just a person. You're a vessel. And now that the warfare is over, it's time to rise in your royal identity. You are not a survivor anymore. You are a chosen vessel of divine legacy. Heaven has cleared the battlefield and set a crown in its place. All you have to do is pick it up. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. And now the silence around you has a different sound. It's not empty anymore. It's sacred. What used to feel like isolation now feels like insulation. You are being wrapped in a divine cocoon. Not to hide you, but to prepare you for the kind of emergence the world isn't ready for. Archangel Michael says, this phase you've entered is not recovery. It's revelation. What was once blurry is becoming sharp. Your vision, your instincts, your inner compass. They are all aligning. What used to confuse you now feels obvious. The manipulation, the half-truths, the people who said they cared but never showed it, the veil is gone. You now see everything through spiritual clarity. And that clarity is your new compass. The reason your spirit feels lighter right now isn't just emotion. It's confirmation. Confirmation that what once held you down spiritually has been removed at its root. You're not only healed on the surface. The deep layers have been reached. Archangel Michael says, this is what true deliverance feels like. A peace that has no explanation. A silence that carries strength. A clarity that chases out confusion. Everything that was spiritually tied to your delay is now broken. Agreements that were made in darkness, spoken through words of discouragement, curses, betrayal, and manipulation, have been cancelled. They have no authority over your timeline. The chain of limitation have been shattered by the sword of light. This is no longer theory as spiritual law. My beloved child, what you feel now is the aftermath of divine warfare ending in victory. The trembling in your chest, the warmth in your back, the tears you didn't expect. Those are the remnants of heaven's presence drawing closer. You've been prayed for by angels. You've been covered by saints, you've been watched over by an army you never saw but always felt. Now comes the part the enemy fears most. Your awakening. When you begin to walk in the truth of who you are, everything around you starts to obey a higher order. People who once disrespected your spirit will now feel uneasy in your presence. Places you once tolerated will now feel too small. Thoughts that once repeated in cycles of self-doubt will now be silenced before they start. You've been given access to something sacred. Discernment without fear. You will see people's intentions before they speak. You will feel the energy shift in rooms before anyone says a word. You will hear God in places you used to feel alone. This is your new level of spiritual authority. And Archangel Michael says, with new authority comes new alignment. Don't be surprised if people begin to drift away. Don't grieve what God is removing. Some were attached to the battle version of you, not the blessed version. They love your brokenness, because it made them feel bigger. But now that you're healing, they won't recognize the glow. Let them go. Let the silence speak. Let the shift happen because in their place you are about to receive something holy. Divine connections that see you, hear you, honor you, and pour into you. Your soul is being rewarded with relationships rooted in real light. This is also the moment where heaven reveals hidden blessings. Prayers you forgot you prayed are coming back with answers. Moments you thought were wasted are returning as favor. Dreams you buried because life became too hard are now being resurrected without effort. Everything is coming full circle. Archangel Michael says, nothing was wasted. Even your worst days were recorded in heaven as acts of faith. You were loyal to God when you had every reason to quit. You chose love when bitterness seemed easier. You forgave people who never apologized. And now every one of those choices has become currency in the spirit. You've deposited years of faith into heaven's account. And tonight, the withdrawal begins. What comes to you now isn't by chance. It's owed. Heaven does not forget loyalty. Heaven does not overlook silent strength. Heaven does not ignore a pure heart, especially when it was broken in private. You will begin to notice miracles that come without struggle. Peace that doesn't require explanation, clarity that no longer needs validation, and joy that appears even in ordinary moments. That's what divine favor feels like. It's not loud, it's lasting. You've shifted from waiting for signs to becoming one. People will begin to look at your life and feel stirred. Some won't even know why they feel emotional around you. It's because your spirit has become a living testimony of what survival and surrender look like when heaven steps in. Archangel Michael says, the enemy's access to you has expired. The water wasn't random. It was targeted because your future is heavy with purpose. You weren't being punished. You were being protected from what your heart wasn't ready to carry yet. But now you're ready. Ready to step into your voice. Ready to claim your territory. Ready to walk boldly in spaces that once intimidated you. Ready to activate others with the light you now carry. You are not who you used to be, and you never will be again. You've crossed over into spiritual safety. That doesn't mean life will be perfect. But it means you'll never fight another battle alone. You'll never question your worth again. You'll never beg for what's already been promised to you. The divine contract has been signed. And now the heavens are instructing you to do one thing. Stand still and watch. Watch what unfolds when you stop chasing and start receiving. Watch how fast things come together when you stay aligned. Watch how people who overlooked you will now be drawn to your presence with reverence. Don't doubt it just because it feels unfamiliar. Miracles always feel strange at first. Favor always makes you question why me? But Archangel Michael wants you to know, why not you? You've been forged in fire, tested in silence, and crowned in the Spirit. Now use your voice. Don't shrink. Don't whisper. Don't over-explain. Just walk in power. And if your heart feels it, let this message echo into others. Let it be light for someone else's darkness. Let it be hope where hopelessness once lived. Comment if you feel the shift. Subscribe if you're ready to walk in your promise. Share if you want someone else to rise with you. This is not entertainment, it's activation. It's not performance. It's prophecy. And it found you for a reason. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. There's a sacred stillness in the atmosphere now. As if even time has paused to honor what is unfolding in your life. No more spiritual fog. No more internal battles. No more asking the same painful questions. You're standing in a moment where heaven has leaned closer. Archangel Michael says, this is not a turning point. This is the point everything was turning toward. You are no longer walking toward your purpose. You are walking in it. Every step you take now is magnetized by divine energy. You are not searching for alignment anymore. You are alignment. People will look at you and not understand how or why things are working in your favor. But the truth is they are not just working. They are obeying the new frequency your spirit carries. My beloved child, you've graduated in the spirit realm. The warfare was your exam. The silence was your training ground. The tears were your anointing oil. And now you're not asking for access. You are the access. Doors don't open because of who you know. They open now because of who you are. The light you carry is not ordinary as coded. It holds the vibration of someone who endured pain and still chose love. Someone who could have given up, but instead became the one others will look to when they need a reminder that miracles still happen. This is not a coincidence. This is sacred design. Archangel Michael says, the old you has been released from duty. That version of you that used to shrink, second guesses, apologize for existing. That version had been honored and retired. In its place stands someone who understands the assignment and carries it with quiet strength. What happens next will not be small. Your life is about to be used as living proof that divine reversal is real. The rejection will become redirection. The heartbreak will become alignment. The delay will become preparation. And what once looked like a mistake will now stand as a masterpiece. You'll begin to feel it in your sleep. Peace that wraps you. Dreams that comfort you. Rest that goes deeper than the body. You'll feel it in your daily life. Less anxiety. More synchronicities. Sudden waves of joy for no reason. That's not mood. That's divine presence. And in the presence of that divine energy, you will become magnetic, not just to people, but to provision. Opportunities will recognize you. Breakthroughs will locate you. Financial freedom, emotional restoration, spiritual power. It will all begin orbiting around you like planets drawn to the sun. This is what happens when the battle ends and the blessing begins. But don't think for one moment this means life will be free of struggle. What it means is that you now fight from victory, not for it. You will walk through hard days with the knowing. You'll face resistance with divine confidence because Archangel Michael has etched into your soul. You are no longer afraid of what tried to break you. The tables have turned. You're no longer asking life to be kind to you. Life is responding to your frequency. You're no longer chasing peace. Peace is choosing you. You're no longer betting God to show up. You've realized He never left. The world may not understand what's happening, but heaven does. The angels are rejoicing every time you choose stillness instead of panic. Every time you trust instead of fear. Every time you walk forward, even though your legs still remember the battles, that's faith. That's victory. That's your legacy unfolding. You are no longer carrying generational weight. You are ending it. You are not repeating cycles. You are redesigning timelines. The bloodline shifts because of you. The patterns break because of you. The story changes with you. Archangel Michael says the final confirmation is this. There will be a moment very soon, a single moment that will feel like time split open. Something will happen that cannot be explained by logic. It will interrupt your routine, break through your numbness, and feel like a spiritual earthquake of goodness. That moment will confirm everything you've just heard. You will know it by how still you become, by how safe you feel, by how deeply your soul whispers, "This is it." And when it happens, don't be surprised if you cry. Not because of sadness, but because your spirit will finally exhale after holding its breath for too long. This moment isn't just for you. It's a ripple. What's breaking open in your life will overflow into those connected to you. Healing will visit your bloodline. Favor will touch your household. Protection will surround your name. This is not about being lucky. It's about being aligned. And if your heart is burning as you hear this, if something inside you is waking up, it means you're not just hearing the message. You are the message. You were born for this alignment. You were made to be proof that darkness cannot cancel what heaven has anointed. So speak life again. Dream boldly again, laugh without guilt. Love without fear. And walk like the battle has already been won. Because it has. Archangel Michael is no longer fighting beside you. He's standing behind you, smiling, watching you rise in the victory you earned. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. There's something sacred unfolding inside your timeline right now. Something not even the heavens are hiding anymore. The shift is no longer spiritual alone. It's becoming physical. Archangel Michael says, the changes you feel internally are preparing the external breakthroughs that will soon shake your world in the best way. This is the moment when the unseen begins to be seen and your spirit becomes the signal that something divine is manifesting through you. You will not need to explain the glow around you. People will notice before you speak. They'll feel different standing next to you. Not because of anything you say, but because your energy has been refined by divine fire. This glow isn't beauty. It's breakthrough. It's not a trend, it's transformation. You are walking evidence that spiritual war, when survived, becomes spiritual royalty. My beloved child, this blow cannot be duplicated. It cannot be faked. It came from nights you didn't post about, moments of agony you didn't announce. Tears that never made it to anyone's ears but guides. And now the glow is permanent. Not because you won, but because you didn't give up. Archangel Michael says, this blow is heaven's way of marking you. You have been branded by battle. Yes, but now you're being crowned with favor. From this day forward, watch how ease begins to follow you. Not because life becomes effortless, but because you will stop fighting battles that were never yours to begin with. People who once doubted you will feel a strange pull toward your name. The same MS that once spoke against you will now speak for you in rooms where your feet haven't even walked yet. That's how heaven works. It turns every insult into an introduction. You are not returning to the old version of yourself. That door is closed, sealed, and guarded. You're not going backwards, and you're not standing still. You're accelerating. But this time, without fear, the things that once triggered you will now expose themselves for what they are, distractions. And you will walk past them with eyes fixed on divine alignment. There's an anointing being activated in your voice. When you speak now, the atmosphere will listen. You'll find that your words land heavier, deeper, fuller. You'll feel it in conversations. You'll notice it in your content, your presence, your expression. It's not just you talking anymore. It's the oil flowing through you. What once made you doubt yourself will now confirm your power. The same thoughts that used to make you retreat will now push you forward. The spiritual opposition was never meant to stop you. It was meant to wake up the side of you that forgot what you carried. Archangel Michael wants you to hear this next truth very clearly. You are no longer being fought. You are now being followed not by darkness but by destiny. Your destiny is chasing you down because the appointed time has come. The scroll with your name has been opened. The locks have been removed. The divine timing is no longer pending. It's now. And as it unfolds, prepare for waves of clarity. Your next steps will feel natural, almost too easy. That's not a trap. That's what divine orchestration feels like. You'll feel nudged toward new habits, gently pulled toward new places, unexpectedly led into rooms that once felt unreachable. Follow the pull. It's heaven's choreography. Relationships that feel calm, grounded, and healing will begin to appear. You won't have to chase. They'll find you when you're aligned, not desperate. They'll come not to distract but to part there with purpose. Soul connections, not soul confusion. Your energy is now a filter. Only what aligns with God's will can pass through. You'll notice that old wounds stop stinging. You'll remember things without flinching. That's healing. That's the proof that the spiritual stitches have held. You didn't just survive. You've been sewn back together, stronger, wiser, and softer in all the right places. Now, your past is just evidence of your preparation. Archangel Michael says, even heaven paused to honor your journey. What you overcame wasn't small. You walked through fire and still carrying water, for others. You went without answers, but still spoke hope. You were wounded but still stood in front of others like light. And because of that, heaven has honored you with something priceless. Divine protection, divine placement, and divine power. Now the blessings begin to land. Not in theory, not in future tense, but in now. You will see it in your finances. You will feel it in your sleep. You will hear it in your conversations. You will carry it in your body. Because when spiritual warfare ends, the reward is not delayed. It's delivered. Even the places that once triggered fear, doctors' offices, courtrooms, deals, messages from people who used to hurt you will now become places of divine reversal. You'll receive good news where you expected bad. You'll find favor where you once met resistance. You will get green lights in places that always felt red. Your home will become a sanctuary again. Your mind will feel like a friend again. Your heart will become a safe place again. That's what heaven is rebuilding. Not just your circumstances, but your inner world. The spiritual healing is becoming physical now. Even your body will respond. Your appetite, your posture, your energy, your skin, your breath, all shifting to reflect peace. And through all of this, Archangel Michael urges you not to forget. Your story isn't just for you. It's for the ones who are still in their battle. The ones whose eyes are tired, whose prayers feel ignored, whose strength is wearing thin. Speak your truth. Share the light. Be the confirmation someone else is silently begging heaven to send. This is the end of the battle, but the beginning of legacy. Your presence will echo into generations. What broke in your family line will stop with you. What no one could talk about before will now be spoken through you with power, with healing, with divine timing. Archangel Michael has fitted his charge. The sword is no longer in motion. The war has been won. And the next time you look in the mirror, don't just see yourself. See the warrior, the vessel, the light. And remember, you made it. You didn't skip. You stayed till the end. And something huge has now found you. And now that the storm has passed, you will begin to notice the light that was always present, but previously hidden by clouds of resistance. The atmosphere feels different because it is. You are standing in post-war territory where everything the enemy tried to bury must now rise by divine command. Archangel Michael says, it is safe now, move forward. The battle will not follow you. The energy around you is no longer heavy with uncertainty. Instead, it carries a strange calm. A calm only known by those who have survived something that should have broken them. This calm isn't weakness. This wisdom is the soul's quiet understanding that nothing formed against you ever had permission to win. And now you walk in that knowing. You are entering the season where divine order becomes your new normal. But once took force will now come, through flow. What you once had to fight for, you'll now attract without effort because you shifted dimensions. Not by chance, but by choice. Every moment you refused to give up pushed you closer to this spiritual frequency. And now you live in it. My beloved child, you're about to experience a kind of restoration that has no reference point. It won't be like the last time. It won't be how others got it. This will be new, a scene, divine. Heaven has customized this next season for your soul specifically. It fits the shape of your pain and the size of your purpose. Don't be surprised if you feel emotional for no reason. That's your spirit releasing the last drops of warfare. The places inside you that had to stay strong for too long are finally being allowed to soften. You no longer need to be in survival mode. You no longer need to brace yourself before every conversation. You're allowed to rest now, not just physically, but spiritually. The angels who ward on your behalf are still near, not to fight but to celebrate. There is rejoicing in unseen places. Your name is being spoken with reverence. And every time you speak light into someone else, that light echoes through the same realm that once tried to silence you. You'll notice divine timing taking over even the smallest areas of your life. Arriving somewhere just as the door opens, receiving a message the moment you consider giving up. Feeling a sudden nudge to check something and finding confirmation waiting. These are not random. These are love notes from heaven, reminders that you are guided now moment by moment. Archangel Michael says, what you feel building in your chest is destiny stretching its wings. You've been in a spiritual cocoon. Hidden, protected, transformed in silence. And now you're ready to emerge not as the same version of yourself, but as the healed, risen one. The one who doesn't just carry, clear's throat, the light, but is the light. There will be moments when you will stand in places that once intimidated you and feel nothing but peace. That, spiritual graduation. That's what victory looks like when it's quiet. You won't need to announce your breakthrough. Your energy will do it for you. The room will shift. Conversations will pause. The air will respond. The people around you will begin to notice. They won't be able to explain it, but they'll feel it. Some will honor it. Some will resist it, but none will be able to ignore it. That's what happens when the anointing matures. It commands without speaking. It leads, without trying. It heals without asking. And this time, the blessings will come with instructions. You'll be shown what to do, who to trust, where to invest, when to rest, and how to speak. You will not be left to guess. Confusion is not your portion. I am more. Clarity is now your companion. The weight you once carried for others will not return to your shoulders. Archangel Michael says, your heart is still open, but your boundaries are now blessed. You will love deeply but not foolishly, you will give freely but not blindly. The healed version of you is no longer available for manipulation. From this point on, let every step you take be sacred. Let every word you speak carry intention. Let your silence be strategic. Let your presence remain rooted because this is your rain season. This is the territory you bled for. This is the moment everything starts to respond differently to you. Not because the world changed, but because you did. The prophetic dreams will increase. The intuition will sharpen. The divine insights will come faster. The burdens will feel lighter. Your walk will become more sure. Your thoughts will feel cleaner. This is what happens when the warfare ends and the oil begins to flow without resistance. Every blessing that had been delayed is now catching up to you. Not slowly, but rapidly. You will begin to feel overwhelmed, but not in a bad way. The goodness will feel unfamiliar at first because your nervous system is still adjusting to peace. But let it in. Let it stay. Let it teach you that safety is your new standard. Archangel Michael says, you're not being elevated just for applause. You're being elevated because there are people waiting to be pulled out of the darkness you once lived in. Your light is not a spotlight. It's a lifeline. Use it. Speak when you're called. Shine without shrinking. This final phase is sacred. Don't rush it. Don't fear it. Walk slowly. Honor your growth and remember the silence now is not empty. It's full of the next instructions. Listen closely. Heaven is still speaking. And now you can hear clearly. This is where the script ends, but the miracles begin. There's nothing more to fight. There's only more to become. You've reached the other side of the battle. And from here forward, your life will not just be lived, it will be led. You didn't just survive. You transformed. You didn't just hold on. You rose. You didn't just pray for change. You became it. This is the new beginning. Walk in it. Top payment 2,941, to confirm this final activation. You've crossed the threshold. The war is over. Peace is now your portion. Archangel Michael stands in silence, watching you walk forward. Not wounded, but wiser, not broken, but blessed. Everything stolen is being returned. Every tear is being turned into testimony. You are no longer fighting for freedom. You are living in it. From this moment on, expect sudden peace. I expected favor and unshakable clarity. The chapter you're stepping into doesn't resemble the one you left behind. You're chosen. You're covered. You're crowned. And the heavens are clapping because you made it. This is your miracle season. Welcome home. Type a minute 70001.